Hello, we're going to do some graphing examples. We're going to do each of these three. Okay. Now, what I would like you to do is, in a minute at least, is to try to do them on your own and then come back and join me. Now, sorry, I broke up part three into two parts, so one with the examples and one with kind of the theory. So here's what you need to do to graph. So to graph y equal ax squared plus bx plus c, you do this. You find h and k, the vertex, that locates the lowest or the highest point, and our formula is hb minus 2a, and then the y-coordinate of the vertex is going to be c minus a times h squared. So you find h, and then you can find k. Okay. The second thing you want to do is you want to find the y-intercept. And you do that by plugging in f0, let's say that equals, making up a letter, g, then the y-intercept would be 0g. And then the third, you want to find the x-intercepts, and you're going to use the quadratic equation, x equal minus b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a, and if b squared minus 4ac is negative, what's inside the square root is negative, then there's no solutions. Okay. So again, you can look back and look at the answers here. We found out that this is equal to 0 if x is equal to 1 and 4. We found this has no solutions. This is never equal to 0. So that's all we know so far. So again, work on each of these on your own and come back. I'm going to do the solutions to 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'll pause, and I'll see you when you get back. So I want to graph this. So the first thing to do is to notice what my a's are. A is 1, b is minus 5 since there's a negative sign there, and c is 4. So we first want to do is find the vertex, and h is b over minus 2a, so minus 5 over negative a, which is 1, and then times 2, so we're going to get 5 halves. K is going to be equal to 4 minus a h squared. That's 4 minus 1, 5 halves squared. That's going to be 4 minus 25 fourths. I'm going to turn fourths into a common denominator, so 4 times 4 over 4 minus 25 fourths. 16 fourths minus 25 fourths minus 9 fourths. So that's my h and k. So this is my h, and this is my k. 2, the y-intercept. Plug in 0, and then I'm going to get f of 0 is equal to 0 squared minus 5 times 0 plus 4, which is 4. So 0, 4 is the y-intercept. Now already, we solved already, and we got x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 5. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plug points in. We know that 1, 0, the graph crosses there, and at 5, 0. These are my x-intercepts. The vertex is going to be h is equal to 5 halves, and then y is minus 9 fourths. So that's going to be here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the x-intercept 4 after I'm done. So the graph is going to look like this. This is the line of symmetry, so it's going to be the same on this side. and this will be my y-intercept 0, 4. So that's the graph of y equals x squared minus 5x plus 4. Notice that 5/2 is halfway between this and this. That's because of the symmetry of the graph. I fold this over the line of symmetry. This point matches up. That means that if this is h, that h is halfway between these 2 points. So notice that h is going to be the midpoint of the zeros. So h is going to be 1 plus 5, 1 plus 4. I had that wrong. That was 4 from the past. I'm sorry. 1 plus 4 over 2, which is 5/2. Sorry, I just caught my mistake. Okay, that always happens. Okay, so we're done with that. Okay, so we'll go to the next example. And the next example is going to be y equal 2x plus 4x plus 20. So we want the vertex, we want the y-intercept, and we want the x-intercepts. And we saw earlier that there's none. Okay, we saw that already. So you want to see the past example? Now the y-intercept, you plug in 0, so you're going to get 0 plus 0 is 20. So 20 is the y-intercept, so we get the point 0, 20. Now the vertex, again, is going to be h is equal to b over minus 2a. And then k is going to be equal to c minus a times h squared. So we'll find the vertex here. So h is going to be, let's figure out what a is. A is 2, b is 4, and c is 20. Again, we looked at that earlier. So h is going to be b over minus 2a. B is 4. A is 2. So we're going to get minus 1 for the vertex, 4 over 4. Okay. K is going to be c squared minus a times h squared. That's going to be c squared is 20 squared. A is going to be 2, and h is minus 1 squared. So we're going to get 20 squared minus 2. So that's 398. So the vertex is going to be minus 1, 398. Now, notice that a is equal to 2, so we open up. Oh, you know what? I screwed up here. C, I had a c squared here. That's a mistake. And I'll show you how I got my mistake. You're going to make mistakes too. So at 398, the vertex was higher than the y-intercept. That's impossible if the graph is opening up. And I'll show you what I mean. So that caught it. I went back and noticed I did things wrong. So it's not c, it's squared. It's c minus a times h, which is minus 1 squared, and that's 18. So the vertex is going to have y coordinate 8, x coordinate minus 1, so minus 1, 18. Okay, now we're good to go. So vertex, I'm going to put it up here, minus 1, 18. And the graph is going to go up like this, symmetrically around that. Now that's so high up, and since the graph goes up, because again, a is equal to 2, so the graph goes up. And then my x-axis is going to be way down here somewhere. I mean the origin. Now I look at my y-intercept, and my y-intercept is 0, 20. So that's the graph of y equal 2x plus 4x plus 20. Okay. And again, you can see since the vertex is so high, there's no way the graph opens up. That's the lowest point on the graph. There's no way we can have any x-intercepts. Okay, so let's do the third example. And the third example is the negative of this. So y minus 2x squared plus 4x plus 20. That's going to change a few things. So the vertex, so first let's figure out the number. A is minus 2, B is 4, C is 20. Okay, so our vertex, we'll see what changes here, is going to be equal to minus b over minus b over 2a, which is the same as minus b over 2a. So that's going to be minus 4. A is 2, minus 2. So we're going to get this is equal to minus 4 over minus 4 is 1. That's our h. That's the x-coordinate of the vertex. The y-coordinate is going to be c minus a h squared. So c is again 20. I'm not going to square it this time. A is minus 2, and h is 1 squared. So 20 plus 2 is equal to 22. So that's the vertex. The y-intercept, plug in 0. It's still going to be 0, 20. And then for the x-intercept, we got to solve 0 equals we got to solve 0 equals the equation, and that's going to be solved by this formula. And the fact that we have a negative a is going to change a lot. So remember, a is minus 2, b is 4, c is 20. Okay, so let's see what happens. So 0 is going to be equal to minus 4 plus or minus 4 squared minus 4 minus 2, because a is minus 2, and then times c, and c is 20. That's going to change an awful lot. All over 2 times minus 2. So that's going to be minus 4 plus or minus 16. That's 8 plus 8 times 20 plus 160. Before it was negative over minus 4. So that's going to be minus 4 plus or minus 176 over minus 4. Okay. Now, I don't know what that's going to be, so I am going to look it up and to see what square root of 176 is. And I'm going to do that right now. So, oops, we got square root 176. And I'm going to get about, let's do 2 decimal places, 13.27. Okay. Okay. So, here's what we know. To graph y equals minus 2x squared plus 4x plus 20, our vertex was 1, 22. Y-intercept, we just saw, was 0, 20. And then our x-intercepts, we're going to figure out now. They are going to be x is equal to minus 4 plus or minus square root of 176 over 4. So when I do the plus root, I'm going to get minus 4 plus 13.27 over 4 over minus 4. That's going to be about minus 9.27 over minus 4. Sorry, that's going to be a plus here. And let's see what that's going to be. I'm not too worried. That's going to be, I'm going to do this in my head. That's going to be about 2.31. Okay, so that's the positive root. The negative root, minus 4 minus 13.27 over minus 4, minus 17.27 over minus 4. That's going to be about, let's see. That's going to be about 2.56 or so. I'm sorry, It's minus over minus, so we're going to get, sorry, let me do that again. That's going to be about 4.56. This one is minus 2.31. So again, here we have for our graph. So we're going to have, I'm going to graph the x-axis here. The first 0 is going to be about minus 2.31. The next one is 4.56. The vertex is 122, so that's going to be about halfway between the roots up here. A is equal to minus 2, so the graph goes down. So that means the graph is going to look something like this. Sorry, it's going to be 0 because it's the x-axis intercept. Oh, I screwed that up. Let me start all over again. I got my vertex and my intercept confused. So let's do this again. The vertex is 122. That's the high point. The y-intercept is 0.20. I got those 2 points confused. And then the x-intercepts are going to be minus 2.310, and then about 4.560. So here's where we go. 122 is going to be the vertex. Okay, then over here, about 4.56 is going to be one root, and the other root's going to be about minus 2.310. So the graph is going to come down here. So I'm going to move the root over. It's going to look something like that. That's the vertex. That's the y-intercept. And then these are the roots or the zeros, or the x-intercepts. And this is a graph of y equals minus 2x squared plus 4x plus 20. And then I'll throw in my y-axis at the end. Okay. So again, when I want to graph, all we want is a rough sketch. It's not beautiful. You know, look at my graphs. And you have to do the three things. So let me just sort of summarize everything, and then that will be done. So to summarize, and this summarizes the whole unit actually. To graph y equals, whoops, a little bit behind here. Okay. There's a delay, so let me catch up. Okay. So what we're going to do here is to graph y equal x squared plus bx plus c. What I do is find the vertex. Minus b over 2a. K is equal to c minus ah squared. Find the y-intercepts. And then I find the x-intercepts. Then that's it.